We're going to talk about what I talked about at the men's retreat. Who was at the men's retreat? You were.
I heard about it.
So 3 people, this will be review. Don't ruin it for everyone. That's really not anything to ruin. Okay.
About to spoil.
Pointy. Alright.
Spoiler alert, it's about
24th?
Jesus.
What's about Jesus?
The teaching.
Yes. So, this will be a review for many of you who know who Jesus is.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember if I actually have any of Jesus' words in this lesson.
That's
His specific words.
Oh.
From when he was on the earth. The whole Bible is his words. Just stop judging me.
Too late.
No shame.
Hey Ben,
Yes,
you know, if you have a Bible, then you have Jesus' words.
that's true. You are correct.
You have to sandwich your Bible between your laptop.
Okay, so, alright, I want to talk about accountability. It's not that you guys can't participate, you're free to participate. Just let other people say things if they want to say it. And then if they're not saying anything and I'm standing up here kind of crying a little bit because nobody's participating, then you know about it.
So, other words, you can't spoil it.
Yes. Okay, so how many of you have been in an accountability group? Aha! Well, that answers my question. For Jara.
What if it
Seriously though, what is
What if it wasn't specifically called an accountability group?
Alright, well,
Would Barnabas group count?
I don't know, because I'll be honest with you, I've been in a lot of Barnabas groups where this isn't even a part of it. So, let's go with this. How would you define accountability? Keeping people accountable. How else might one define it?
Holding someone against, like when somebody does something wrong, hold them to it and make sure they get the proper consequence
Ooh.
for the negative action.
Checking in on their spiritual and sinful lives.
I think just hold it. Oh, wait, was I not supposed to stop?
Go ahead, you may talk
Start
now.
crying. It's like holding someone accountable for their actions.
I said that, Joe.
Making it so, kind of the aspect of making it so that the actions don't just disappear. They can't just like do things.
Alright, so let's
It's
go
not
with...
necessarily about punishing them, but it's more about holding them accountable.
Holding them to.
Alright, I'm going to write this up here, and now that it's up here, you can't say it anymore, because it's already been written down.
Holding them to a standard.
Yes.
Okay.
For them.
That they set for them. Somebody set for them.
Holding someone to a standard, okay?
You need to edit two.
What?
You need to add it to. Holding them a standard. Thank you. I will
Okay.
stop making them jokes.
Well, you did say it too.
I'm sorry.
Megan. Oh, she Googled it.
The state of being accountable, liable, or answerable.
Ah, okay. Okay. So, alright, so someone does something wrong, and they are liable to be held to answer for what they did wrong. Okay, now we can start announcements. Go ahead. Okay, so answering, how about this? Answering for your behavior.
Yes.
Okay? Answering for your behavior. Does that make sense, everybody? Derek.
Being available to listen to somebody that's struggling.
Ooh, whoa.
Whoa.
put that over here, Derek.
What?
Get
Then why is it all alone?
Give my own category.
listening.
You get your own category. Listening to somebody when they need encouragement because they don't like their own behavior. Okay, so how many of you have been involved in this type of relationship with someone else?
What if you didn't know it was that type of relationship?
You're so involved.
I guess.
You did this? You did? I mean, like, this is what you get together to do.
Oh, no.
Like, yes, our parents, we screw up, then they spank us. Yeah, that's accountability.
Oh, then never mind.
But I mean, like, you get together deliberately once a week or once every other week, and you talk about your behavior. I talk about the stuff that I don't like about me, and the way that I'm behaving that I don't like. I put it out on the table, and this guy says, all right, what's your commitment for not behaving that way? Give me encouragement if I need it. Give me chastisement if I need it. That kind of thing. How many have been in a relationship like that? Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 4.
I think not necessarily a group, but there's a couple people. Where it's like that. Well,
I've never heard of people doing this.
Girls' house we did that did a once a week thing for a while.
Oh yeah. We all have those
Parents
days.
don't remember.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Roommate night.
Make that 5.
No, I don't want.
All right. Okay, so this is very good. Steve-O.
Like you said, I've been in one too. I just don't typically like them.
Good. Steve-O, tell me, this is what I want to talk about next. Why don't you like them? Because they can be good or they can be bad.
Well, quite simply because, how to say it, the letter of the law, in a sense, brings death, but the Spirit brings life.
Yeah.
So it seems like we're trying to aim for Old Testament rather than New Testament sometimes, and I feel it's deadening and actually leads to more sometimes.
Can lead to legalism. Good. Derek?
That's what I was going to say, legalism.
Yeah, right. You were going to say that.
Before you said it,
I feel like sometimes you ask people to keep you accountable, but, or like people ask me to keep them accountable, but then actually meeting up with them and saying, hey, how are you doing with this significant flaw in your life, or like keeping up with them. I feel like that rarely ever happens. Like people ask for accountability and then both sides don't keep up with it.
Something that popped into my brain was how you're being corrected. Like you can either be, hey, you're an idiot, stop doing that, you shouldn't be doing that, that's sin. Or it could be like, hey, I noticed you did this week, and I don't think that's what, like, I think I need to hold you accountable for that. Like, you screwed up a little bit, but you still need to fix it. As opposed to be, you suck as a person.
So how would you put that into a couple of words?
Legalism.
Reaction versus compassion.
Grace versus
Grace versus evil.
Who just said meanness?
It's a word.
It's a word. Meaniness. Oh, okay. Meaniness.
There was a hand back there. There's 10 hands back there. None of them are raised.
Well, I was going to say it's an incorrect standard.
What's that?
An incorrect standard.
Incorrect standard.
Did you want anything added to the good side of that?
We will in a second.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Ty.
I want to say it's something like criminalizing or something like that. Like basically pretty much puts all the attention on you, on all the wrong or something that's considered a incorrect flaw in just a person.
So you're just being accused of something that you don't necessarily
think is bad.
Okay. And get accusatory.
Accusatory.
That's
Okay.
That's an
It is
actual
a
word.
Derek.
Your reputation could be at stake.
Ooh.
They're on fire.
Okay, so how could your reputation be at stake?
Because people are going to know who you actually are if you're going to tell them who you actually are.
Let's say I'm in an accountability group with Joe, and Joe, of course, obviously, as we've already established from previous lessons, he is not trustworthy. And so I go to Joe and I tell him about my addiction or my massive sin or this big issue relationship that I've got going on or whatever, and then Joe turns around and tells his mom, and as we've already established, then that goes around the entire church and my reputation is ruined. Yeah, we don't want that. So I would say one reason where this could be really bad as well. So one, your reputation could be ruined because you trust them when you shouldn't, or accountability doesn't happen because you just don't trust them. Right? So you get together with them and you feel like this is going to happen, and so you don't even talk because you don't trust them. Another issue, I would say, with accountability, and maybe you kind of, yeah, you'll get this. Let's say you've got, another issue I would say is authority with accountability. So like if you've got someone in a position of authority, or at least in your mind they're in a position of authority, or if in your mind you're in a position of authority over someone else, then accountability can break down. Because if you see them as an authority, then you're just naturally going to want to look good to them. You're going to want to impress. You're going to want to be in their good graces, right? Tracking with me? And if you're... Yeah, Mike.
What happens if you don't like it?
What happens if you don't what?
Like it? Is that bad?
That's going to be a struggle with accountability then.
Sometimes I get new staff and they're like they kind of downgrade me a little bit, like, and I do stuff my way, and then it's like they just want to leave.
Yep. Sometimes authority is no good. Sometimes authority shouldn't be authority, and yet they are, and so we have to obey, and that's a struggle.
More about that tonight, not later.
Maybe. Okay. Now, if you are in authority and you're doing accountability with someone who is under your authority, that can really mess things up because as the person in authority, you don't have the humility to be open and honest with one down here because you want them to be impressed by you. You want them to continue to be your disciple, that kind of thing, so you don't share things that you should share. Do you have something? Okay. Yes. Amy now has something to share.
No, I was like, did you think that I picked more?
I thought you did. No, it's okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did you want to move that list thing over to the good? Is that what you're aiming for? I don't know.
It's just bugging him that it's all alone.
There's a reason that's over there. All right, now, what's the good part about accountability?
Helps you grow.
How does it help you grow?
Gets all the bad stuff out, and it helps you not to do it again, just because you know you have to answer to people.
Yep. Good. What else is good about it? Ty?
To go with what she said, like maybe purifies your, not purify, but
Refine.
pretty much like no longer regretful or something like that. Then you don't have as much regret.
You feel better about yourself because you're not messing up as much?
Yeah.
You cannot hide your sin. Well, you can't. You can try.
If it's done right,
Correct.
then you're not hiding your sin, and your sin is in the light, and where light, there is no darkness.
No.
Steve.
I kind of think of when a person works out with another who is stronger than them, they naturally do about 20% more than they normally would have by themselves. So basically, raises expectation of what you can do.
Yep. You can't soar with the eagles if you're hanging out with the turkeys.
My mom used
That's
to
a
say
good
that.
point, though.
That's what my mom tells me all the time.
Kind of appropriate time of year.
I was trying to figure out how to put that in.
Thanksgiving on them.
Joe, he wasn't looking at you when you did turkey, by the way.
I was looking.
Direction.
I was looking at one specific hair on your head. Nice moves, man.
Trying to put on a big girl pants, take the diaper off.
Okay, so anybody else want to add anything to the good side? David.
It could lead to openness, which means like being free.
Absolutely.
It builds your relationships with the people in your group too, which means more fellowship.
Makes you a better person.
I'm going to put this in here, David. Transparency and healing. Confess your sins one to another and you will be healed. Woo! That is so true. When you hide your sin, you rot on the inside. You're just caked in guilt and shame when you hide your sin. You bring your sin out into the light, all of a sudden, you feel like an eagle.
Pretty much like a breath of fresh air.
You feel better. You growed. You know hide. All right.
You growed?
All right. Okay. Sorry, you said something as I was getting at that.
Sorry, I was just saying it makes you a better person.
Thank you, Leah. Anything you wanted to add to that, Mason?
Stronger relationships.
There we go. Good.
Better fellowship.
Way better fellowship. Way better fellowship.
You're welcome, Amy.
Way better fellowship. All right. Steve.
I'd say the most important is that it points away from your strength to God.
What do you mean by that?
For the ability to change.
When you're weak, you're made strong.
Okay. Expound on that a little bit, Steve.
It brings back to the gospel that, like with all the books of the New Testament, they always start with some sort of doctrine of what has happened to you, and then it tells you what you're able to do as a result of that. Without that, you will just crumble.
Good. Okay. Did you have something, Derek? No? Okay. Okay. I would like somebody to, let me hand out some verses here. Who wants to read verses? You'll read one. What if I assign you
25.
Only one.
26?
26.
5-7?
2,000 over.
All right. Joe, 1 Peter 5:8. Damien, did you want to look up one? Proverbs 27.
What was that?
I didn't mean to.
He's got chili.
17?
Yep. Leah, Ecclesiastes 4. You didn't get Ecclesiastes this time.
Well, I wouldn't want Ecclesiastes
Ecclesiastes. Megan, 2 Samuel 23. Emily, 1 Samuel 17, starting in verse 57. All right. So, why should we do this type of thing? Why should we?
To help you grow, to make you feel better, so you don't cry.
Because if we don't, Derek.
We'll become like the devil.
Oh, okay then.
Okay. Good. Jarrah.
You feel all alone, like you're the only one dealing with the sin.
Ooh.
What is that?
What?
I didn't hear that. What?
Alone.
Oh.
Okay. Read your passage. 1 Peter 5:8.
Be alert and sober of mind. Your enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, looking for someone to devour.
We could put the lighter back up, but that would not be adequate because it's cute and not ferocious.
What verse is this?
But if you
Well, yeah, that's
if you figure yourself in the day.
what he's implying. I don't know.
Okay, so why did we read that verse? Be alert and sober-minded, for your enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, seeking someone to devour. Why is that verse connected here?
Accountability helps you be aware of how the devil acts. Or is acting.
That's like a 4 on the answer.
Out of 5?
4 million.
You're gonna start crying first. And let someone else listen.
Does anyone have any clue? Okay, Joe, please rescue us from this pit of despair we're in.
The question was, why did we read this verse?
Yes.
To remind us that the devil is out to get us, and we need to do something about it.
It's like a 7.
In the
Okay,
silence
I'll
and
keep
darkness.
going then. And then if we don't do something about it, he'll devour us. And we don't want to do that.
Alright, it's like 7.2. 5.
She raised her hand first, though.
Megan.
Is it, so obviously the first part that you said was right, so I'm just going to repeat that because you were like all excited. So the enemy is like crawling around and whatever, looking for someone to devour, and we need accountability with other Christians to help us to be sober-minded and self-controlled and whatever.
Help fight?
Yes.
Alright, let's say
I guess
7.5. Alright, here you go. Here you go. Here you go.
What is
Okay,
it?
are you ready? Are you ready? Here, ladies and gentlemen.
What is that?
That is a person. That is a duck.
Is that a lion?
That is a...
It's a lion.
Jellyfish?
Oh, damn, why is that a lion?
That is devil?
It's
a
cat.
Oh, it's lion!
Hey, lion!
Looks like a monster under the bed.
Okay. What?
That is so creepy.
That is a beautiful drawing.
Fangs. He's even got fangs, ladies and gentlemen. Okay.
I can't look away.
Alright, so here we have a lion. And then he's looking over here, and we've got these are gazelles. These are gazelles.
From a distance.
From a distance, he's sniffing them out. I'm gonna get me some dinner. Okay. Now, what do you suppose his strategy is gonna be?
To go for that long
Go for
dot.
the weak one.
Ah, bingo. Go for the one that's isolated.
Oh.
This is why we need accountability. Because if we don't have accountability, if we're not in with the group, we're isolated, we're easy prey for
The lion.
There's a reason why God chose to use this illustration. He prowls around like a roaring lion seeking someone to devour because this is how lions operate. One of the best ways, his best tool, is to go after people who are isolated and alone. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're Billy Graham. I don't care who you are. If you isolate yourself, he's going to get you. Period, end of story. You're a human being. Don't have too much confidence in yourself.
Yeah, right, exactly.
That was going to be one of those moments. That was going to be like a mic drop moment, but I had to catch it, and so it was a pen drop.
We'll do it again.
So don't be...
Too confident.
Too confident.
So, be careful lest you fall. Even better. All right. Yes. The greatest place that Satan wants us alone is in our own temptation. When we're alone in temptation, we fall so easily. We doubt ourselves. We believe lies. We justify things. And that's where it gets us. So, Proverbs 27:17. Damien.
Iron sharpens iron, and one man sharpens another.
So as iron sharpens iron, one man sharpens another. Proverbs 27:17. Why do you suppose we included that one in today's list?
Shows you the need to have fellowship. Five?
What did she say?
She said.
All right. Do you have Ecclesiastes 4? You do? Why don't you read Ecclesiastes 4, starting
In
read?
verse 8?
Nope. 7 through 12.
Again, I saw something meaningless under the sun. There was a man all alone. He had neither son nor brother. There was no end to his toil, yet his eyes were not content with his wealth. For who am I toiling, he asked, and why am I depriving myself of enjoyment? This too is meaningless, a miserable business. Two are better than one, because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up. But pity anyone who falls and has no one to help them up. Also, if two lie down together, they will keep warm. But how can one keep warm alone? Though one may be overpowered, two can defend themselves. A cord of 3 strands is not quickly broken.
All right. So that's what I gathered from that little passage. Here's what's meaningless. Something totally meaningless. This really is a terrible thing, is when somebody is alone. It's really a terrible and meaningless thing when somebody is discontent. No enjoyment. They don't have help. They don't have someone when they fall down, they've got nobody to help them get up. Cold, defenseless, no return for their work. Memorize that. Memorize that. Ecclesiastes.
Still wrong.
Ecclesiastes.
Are you trying to make a song out of that?
4.
Throw it on it too.
7 through 12. Yes, I do see now that it is spelled Ecclesiastes. But, once again, I'm the saved one.
Well, I mean, you went to Bible college.
I went to Bible college, so I have to be. All right. Okay. I'm not going to read the big, giant, long one this time. We'll read a semi-long one, though. Who's got 2 Samuel 23? Okay, lucky one. I want you to read verses 8 through 17. So what this is, this is the stories of David's mighty men. Anybody know who David's mighty men are? Anybody heard about David's mighty men?
Heard of the merry men.
They are not the merry men. Those are
Robin Hood.
Robin Hood's men, the merry men.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Okay, so here's the deal. Here's what I want you to be listening for. As she reads this, I want you to be listening for commitment and dedication to David. Okay? These men take their relationship with David incredibly seriously. Okay? On your mark, get set, go.
Wait, verse 8, okay.
8 through 17.
These are the names of David's mighty men. I have to read them.
Yes. See, this is why I'm not reading it, so that you get to torture it, botch it, instead of me.
What passage are we
Oh,
on?
2 Samuel 23.
Okay. Joseph.
Just call him Joe.
Yeah, you can just do like the first syllable if you want.
Okay, Ta was chief of the 3. He raised his spear against 800 men who he killed in one encounter. Next to him was Eleazar, son of As one of the three mighty men, he was with David when they taunted the Philistines gathered at Pashdadanim for battle. Then the men of Israel retreated, but he stood his ground and struck down the Philistines till his hand grew tired and froze to the sword. The Lord brought about a great victory that day. The troops returned to Eleazar, but only to strip the dead. Next to him was Shahama, son of Agi the Herorite. When the Philistines banded together at a place where there was a field full of lentils? Okay. Israel's troops fled from them, but Shammah took his stand in the middle of the field. He defended it and struck the Philistines down, and the Lord brought about a great victory. During harvest time, 3 of the 30 chief men came down to David at the cave of Adullam, while a band of Philistines was encamped in the valley of At that time, David was in the stronghold, and the Philistine was at Bethlehem. David longed for water and said, "Oh, that someone would get me a drink of water from the well near the gate of Bethlehem." So the 3 mighty men broke through the Philistine lines, drew water from the well near the gate of Bethlehem, and carried it back to David. But he refused to drink it. Instead, he poured it out before the Lord. "Far be it from me, O Lord, to do this," he said. "It is not the blood of men who went at the risk of Is it not the blood of men who went at the risk of their lives?" And David would not drink it. Such were the exploits of the 3 mighty men.
Nice. Okay, so what are the...
That was painful.
Yes, you're welcome for that. Okay, so we've got some mighty men. First dude strikes down 800 men in one encounter. You've got Eleazar, right? Eleazar?
Yes.
Everybody turns around, runs, and flees, but Eleazar doesn't, and he fights them until his hand freezes to his sword.
It's a cold sword.
No comments. Because it's so cold there in the Middle East, right?
No.
No. Oh, okay. Okay. How do you know? How do you know it wasn't global cooling? Huh? So yeah.
Beautiful.
Sometimes I say dumb things. Okay, but then you've got this last story. David is stuck in a cave, and he tells his guys, "Man, it would just be so awesome if I could drink some of the water out of the well in Bethlehem." And his 3 mighty men are like, "All right, let's go get some." And so they bust through the Philistine line, get him water, and bring back the water to David. So, do you have any relationships that look anything like that? Do you have any human relationships at all that look anything like that? Where you could say something like, "Oh man, if I could just have a drink from that well," and they would go risk their life for you so that you could just have a simple drink of water.
Not their life, but like they would get it.
Inconvenience them maybe, but
yeah.
Like run down to the gas station, yeah, that might be all right. But run through the entire.
Well, one time Pauline was really broke, and I said I wanted candy, so she spent like her last few dollars to spoil me with candy.
See,
Help me get diabetes.
That's epic. That's epic. That's good stuff. It's pretty close. Okay, we'll read one more section here, and then we'll call it good for now. 1 Samuel 18. Is that you, Emily? Actually 17. So read read verse 57. Start there and read through 18:4.
So 1 Samuel 17, 57 through chapter 18.
Verse 4.
Okay.
And that's Revelation chapter 18. So just kidding. Go ahead.
Okay. As soon as David returned from killing the Philistine, Abner took him and brought him before Saul. But David, still holding the Philistine, said, "Whose son are you, young man?" Saul asked him. David said, "I am the son of your servant Jesse of Bethlehem." After David had finished talking with Saul, Jonathan became one in spirit with David, and he loved him as himself. From that day, Saul kept David with him and did not let him return to his father's house. And Jonathan made a covenant with David because he loved him as himself. Jonathan took off the robe he was wearing and gave it to David, along with his tunic and even his sword, his bow, and his belt.
Okay, so David's standing here, and he's got holding Saul's head. That's Saul now, because. Okay. All right, fine, whatever. Don't play along.
You make Goliath.
I did it again.
Did it again. You did that same thing when you did it last
again. Yep. No. So he's holding Goliath's head. This is because Goliath looked like that. Okay. Holding Goliath's head, and Saul asked David, "Whose son are you?" Jonathan, the prince, King Saul's son, is standing there, and Jonathan. It says Jonathan's soul was knit to David's. So we've got soul knitting. And then at that point, it says that Jonathan gave his robe, his tunic, his belt, and his weapons. Gives that to David. So, we'll end with this little thought here. In the Old Testament, we've got lots and lots of covenants. Tons of covenants. You've got this weird thing that God did with Abraham that was just odd. God tells Abraham, "I need you to take a heifer and cut it in half. Like the head side goes over here and the tail side goes over there. And we are going to pass through. We're going to do like this weird figure eight thing where you're going to pass through and I'm going to pass through the blood in the middle of this." And we read that in the Old Testament and we're like, what? What does that even mean? Like, why would he cut it in half and put the head, it's like the head on the east and the tail on the west or north and south or whatever it was. It's like, what does that even mean? There's meaning behind absolutely everything in the Old Testament. There's a reason why you've got all the different festivals throughout the year. It's so that they can remember and picture things in their mind of what God has done for them and what God's promises to them are. So here we have, what's happening here is a covenant. This is covenant that's taking place between Jonathan and David. So he gives him, and there's symbolism here. If you read the Talmud, the Jewish Talmud, it talks about this stuff. It talks about what the robe and the tunic symbolize and what the belt and the weapons symbolize. The robe and the tunic symbolize your identity. So when Jonathan gave him his robe and his tunic, that was the moment in which he was basically saying, "You're going to be king, not me. You're going to have my identity. You're going to have my inheritance. I'm giving this to you." He could have bought David a robe just like his. He's a prince. He could have done whatever financially for David, but he said, "Nope, you're taking my stuff. You clearly are the one that needs to have the throne, not me." Gives him his identity. Gives him his belt. That's a symbol of his strength. Gives him his weapons. That's saying, your enemies are now my enemies. Doesn't matter where you go, what you do. I owe my life to you, basically. I will defend you. I will protect you. I have 100%. My soul is knit to you, life and death forever, baby. It's on. You got all of me. So, how many of you have that kind of relationship with someone other than a spouse?
Which end of the relationship? Are you Jonathan or are you David?
Well, hopefully both. Where you 100% of you is given to them, and 100% of them is given to you. I'm telling you, the Bible would not be complete without these stories. Would not be complete as far as what our relationships are actually supposed to look like. This is what our relationships are supposed to look like. I'm not saying that I have this relationship with every single one of you in this room, and every single one of you has this kind of relationship with everyone else in the room, where it's like you are 100% each other's. You can't do that. We don't have time for that. In heaven, we will. That would be epic. That would be amazing, and everybody would be like that. But right now, this is the type of relationships that you should be pursuing. Not just guys, girls should be pursuing this as well, where you have this type of relationship with another woman. You read the book of Ruth, you see that between Ruth and Naomi. You see the same thing there. All right, let's stop there. Go some more on Thursday.